Yeah, hello everyone. This is Saurabh here. We are in the Congress Park, Congress Well Park, if I have to say it correctly. And this is me talking you on the behalf of the Thinking Club. And we are here for our eighth meetup, if I'm not wrong. And it's a Sunday evening, and I accidentally sat on a pipe, which I'm okay with, unless it's a snake. So we are in a very chilled out, chillax mood today. Four of us have gathered here: me, Julian, Sneha, and Abhishek. And it's like, I mean, like, we keep meeting up and we keep talking about a lot of things. We discuss a lot of things. This was originally uh, supposed to be only a book club. That was what I came up with when I was thinking about it initially. But then, since we kept meeting and we realized, okay, we should also, broaden our horizons beyond books, because there are so many other things people are interested about and consume and like to talk about. So last time we did speak about Interstellar, last 2 weeks, last two Sundays, that is. And since I hadn't watched the movie before recording the podcast, I only spoke on the movie about what I could gather from the reviews that I watched on internet. But since the recording, I did manage to watch the movie entirely, and and that was only the second time I watched the movie, and it was a very beautiful experience, if I have to put it that way, because since we spoke about so many things in the podcast that we recorded last time, uh, I guess we tended to uh, tread more on the technical side of it, or the planet side of it, or the material side of the movie, and less on the emotional side of the movie. I guess Sneha did speak about the emotional side of the movie, and the love that binds the Cooper and Murph. I mean, like, she I mean, like, Doctor Bran travels all the way to Edmund's planet only because there's a bond that is pulling her, and that force, if she has to talk about, uh, if I have to talk about, is love. And she also talks about gravity as that force which defines all the dimensions, right? So I guess even love is that force which defined all the dimensions in the movie, uniting Dr. Brand with Edmund's planet, and uniting Murph with Cooper eventually in the movie. So I mean, those there are so many aspects to that movie which we couldn't touch upon in a more deeper sense. But anyways, since I have the mic in my hand and I tend to get carried away speaking when I'm on the mic, so we just sat down, and it's what is the time right now? It's 25 minutes 5, beyond 5 in the evening, and this is 3rd March 2024. And I mean, like, we keep thinking about so many things, and uh, wanting few things to happen in a certain manner, but then they don't normally. And it's sometimes, as I would call it, serendipitously, if that's the correct word, serendipity. And suddenly things turn out of nowhere, and you have been expecting of such a thing to happen, and they just manifest before your eyes. I mean, like, there have been so many times I have been thinking about a person who I haven't been talking to for a long time, and I keep thinking about them, and suddenly, maybe in the very next moment, or on that day, or on the penultimate day, I somehow meet them or get a call from them. And it keeps happening to me a lot of times. Uh, I'm sure it could be telepathy, or what we call manifestation in different words. Uh, so, I would like to ask all of you here if there have been similar experiences that you have had. Uh, Sneha would like to mention something she experienced yesterday itself, maybe, and how telepathy really works, or what is, like, is it a metaphysical concept, or I mean, like, it's in between science, or it's in between science and faith, if I have to put it that way. uh, I mean, like, there's a book, right, Secret, which talks about manifesting things for you. I mean, like it's a very popular book. I'm sure a lot of you. No, no, no. I don't remember the. I mean, like there was this book I heard about 10 years ago, which I was too lazy to read, but I did watch a YouTube video on that. Anyways, so I would like to pass the mic now and like ask you guys about any experience that you had in the past wherein you had such manifestations or telepathic experiences in your life, if you can recall, or if I have to put it in a very simple manner, deja vu. And since Julian is a big fan of Matrix, I would like to listen to his understanding of Matrix and you know extrapolating that to reality a little bit.
Well, on the topic of manifestations and telepathy, I what I can say is we are the sum total of all the experiences we go through. So, and each individual has his own set of experiences and memories that make up his life. And when I look back, I think to myself, all the experiences that I've had, I don't regret any of them, and I am so glad that I had all those experiences because they made me who I am. And to if I were to think it thoroughly through, that I would never exchange my experiences with anyone because at the time maybe I would disagree. Means at the very time I was having maybe some bad experiences, I would lament and say, "Oh, why me?" and all that. But now when I look back, I'm actually very happy that I had to experience all those things. So for me, the concept of manifestation, I don't really believe in all those manifestations because future is uncertain. But what I believe is we have agency over our future, and we are not prisoners of our past at the same time. So we have, in fact, we are we have choice, and we have our individual freedom to construct whatever future we want for ourselves.
Hi, Sneha here. So, the whole discussion started with the event that occurred yesterday. I was I don't know, somehow casually I had a thought that we didn't meet Saurabh Bhaiya's mother and father for a long time now. So, it's been a month or so. I don't know, casually I had a thought while cooking that why not go by and meet them in the evening. So I casually asked him, and he was "Auntie is a bit busy, so she's tired as well. So let's meet another week." So I don't know what telepathy went through and reached Auntie or manifestations. Could be. So we were just walking in the evening towards milk shop, and Auntie happens to appear there. And then I was so excited and I was so surprised. I was like, I don't know. At that moment, I was like, I don't know if I had to answer that question. If I believe in the manifestations, do I believe in telepathy? Kind of no. It is a straightforward answer. I think if something's like superstitions and all these telepathy and you know things happen for a reason. If I am asked this question, then I would instead tell, "Hey, come on, don't be so naive." I would instead tell that. But then at that very point, I actually felt some connection. I was like, how is it that it happened? How is it that I was actually thinking of meeting her? Things were happening in my mind and it reached her. And then things fell in time. And then we were going at the same time. She's coming from the opposite at the same time and we met her. So sometimes, even when you're not a believer of all these things, some events so happen that you start questioning, do I believe, do I not? So those events make you introspect yourself. Is it that whatever I'm believing is the only truth, or there exists something beyond all the truths that I believe? What I believe as science, it might be the limited science. There might be so many things beyond that. And I'm not even telling that it's superstition, the telepathy or the manifestations. It might carry some science which is beyond our understanding. That could that could be the kind of explanation I will agree with. What do you say, Abhishek?
Yeah, I don't know what to say, but before we are this much educated, when we are in the family of conservative family and very spiritual family, you will believe all such things. Oh, it happened. Yeah, it will happen. Again and again, it will happen. And you will believe that God made it. I prayed a God, and He made it possible that what I believe it happened. This is what manifestation means. Now it's all simple. Yeah, it happened. You should be happy. Feel happy and move on. Don't keep all that what do you say manifestations and uncertain thoughts in your mind that oh every time you think it will happen. Don't keep such things in mind. It's just a happy moment that it happened. You believed it happened. It's a happy moment. Just move on and don't be expecting every time it will happen and don't be stuck there. That's what it means. So manifestations happen sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't happen. So you should move on in life. Don't keep take it to the heart. Such things. It's good. It happens.
You need to give some examples for that.
What example? Yeah, you told no yesterday auntie came and all such things. And sometimes I believe that when I take out the bike, I feel that oh, lot of traffic today should be empty. It will be empty sometimes.
So
Yeah.
who is listening to your telepathy?
If you are a spiritual person, then you listen. Oh, God made it. He heard me and He made it clear for me. That is what its superstition means. But sometimes it's happy. Now I think it's happy. Later, when I was small and all, it was like, yeah, God made it do it. God made listen to me. God saw me. Yeah, I was struggling, so He saw me. Now I understood the reality. No, when you come to reality in life, you'll get to know. Yeah, this is what it is, and manifestations happen, and it is you should feel happy about it rather than taking something like oh today it didn't happen. Sometimes it will be heavy traffic. Then I can't scold God or I can't feel bad inside. Nothing will happen. Yeah, that you should not do. If it happens, you should feel happy and move on. That's what I tell. I speak.
Well, any discipline that has to be scientific uh, undergoes change. Uh, the principal paradigm that defines any scientific discipline has to go change. Only then it is, evolving science is what I would call it. Like, there was a time people thought of Pluto to be a planet, right? But now it's been debarred from being called a planet and it's limited to being a dwarf planet. But that happened only because people change their perceptions or their understanding of what science basically means to them. Similarly, Newtonian physics was replaced by Einsteinian physics. Time itself, I mean, like the time and space, the physics behind time and space underwent a lot of changes. Now we understand gravity as something, which is not just a force. I mean, like, uh, it it warps the entire space, is what people say, right? That's theory of relativity, if I'm not wrong. Uh, since I was talking about these things, and since we don't understand, I would call it the science of telepathy or the science of manifestation, the very understanding of these things is limited, as Neha said rightly, that science cannot be something which is limited to our present understanding. Like how in the Interstellar movie as well, they have placed a wormhole. The understanding, or the very crude understanding of what a wormhole could mean to uh, anyone, but you don't have the science or the uh, depth to understand or to create a wormhole in middle of nowhere in the space, right? But at the same time, that it could be possible in the future. At the same time, you think parallel universes are not a thing today, But then there could be a possibility, right, that parallel universes could exist in the future. So just because we don't know how to quantify or measure a phenomena in contemporary scientific understanding, it doesn't mean that it cannot be measured or quantified in future in scientific methodology. You're getting my point? Because what I keep hearing from people is, if they have to achieve something or if they have to pursue something, they say they have to think about it day in day out. You know, I mean, like, thinking about something continuously and wanting to achieve it, or complete your goal in a makes kind of ensures that that goal is right in front of your eyes all the time, and it also motivates you towards working to achieve that. So that's what I keep hearing from people, that they bloody manifested something for them in their life. It could be anything. It could be their love interest, romantic love interest, if I have to talk about. It could be uh, a car, maybe a house, or all these materialistic goals. Or in Interstellar movie, Dr. Brand's longing to see Dr. Edmund, which took her to another galaxy altogether, right? So that's what I was talking about. So telepathy, definitely, the superstitious side of it, I can understand your reasoning about it, but then I just see that there could be something more to that, which we today, in today's limited contemporary understanding of scientific phenomena, may not be able to quantify or measure it today. So in the future, you never know, things could change, right? Like 400 years ago, if you went to a person, and I mean, like, if you went and spoke to a person about flying objects in the sky, he would laugh at you. Like, you wouldn't you you said you tell him that 500 people would fly from one place to another in just 2 hours, covering thousands of kilometers. It would be a You'd be a laughing stock for that person, right? So in the similar sense, maybe 50 years, 100 years, 1000 years from now, like what I said to Sneha the other day in the movie Interstellar, they speak of gravity as a force through which he converses, right? Through which he converses with Murph, Dr. Cooper, by pushing the books and converting the uh, whatever data is required to complete her gravity equation through the robot SARS. No, no, no. Case TARS. TARS helps him, right? Because he is also with him inside the Tesseract. So you see gravity in play, which is visible, which is tangible to you, in which through which the data is converted through binaries, if I'm not wrong. But what is untangible or intangible is love, because love is a force, I assume, in the movie, which Cooper keeps talking about, mentioning them, and they have finally found out a way to measure and quantify, through which they could have created their entire tesseract by capturing her room in different time slots throughout her life, which could be only connected, or which could be only unlocked with the key of love for Murph on the behalf of Coop. So that force I'm talking about. So you cannot really limit all these things to contemporary understanding. In a similar way, telepathy or manifestation could also mean a lot more than what we understand today.
Thanks, Saurabh. So, well, I do not believe that manifestation is totally uh, non-existent. I I will give you a small example. When I was learning swimming, freestyle swimming, I used to watch YouTube videos and try to imitate the technique in the pool. And maybe I was dreaming also about the strokes when sleeping. And slowly, slowly, as I progressed in my swimming journey, my stroke also improved. In
Sorry to interrupt, but you're listening from a very good swimmer, and I have seen him swimming. And amongst us, at least, he's a very good swimmer. and he keeps telling that did learn it from the videos, which was very difficult initially to digest, but since we have seen it through our eyes, I can guarantee you that.
Well, thank you, Saurabh. You are very generous with your words. So I was, I learned, means initially I learned swimming from my grandfather, what he taught me, but I refined my stroke looking at YouTube videos, and I truly believe that I've manifested that stroke using the YouTube videos by continuously thinking of it and dwelling upon how to improve my stroke step by step in the pool. So, as far as manifestation goes, I do believe in this kind of manifestation. Well, the metaphysical manifestation, I'm a little skeptical, but who knows? Like Saurabh was saying, 400 years ago, people would laugh at you if you would tell them that we would have a flying machine that transports people from one continent to another continent. In fact, the continents itself were like people on one continent didn't know the people on another continent. And any someone said no, any sufficiently advanced gadgetry is like magic to the uninitiated. So and yeah, and what else I was wanting to say? Uh, okay. As mechanical engineers, we have studied entropy. Entropy is measure of disorder in the environment, or yeah, measure of disorder. Even we have forgotten a long time back we have studied, but still. So in the universe, always entropy increases. That means the disorder increases. But life doesn't follow this rule. The phenomena of life is increasing amount of entropy, decreasing amount of entropy, because life creates more order from previous order. So life disobeys the second law of thermodynamics. So if you go to see that life itself is a miracle, life itself is a miracle. So who's to uh, categorically say that there miracles don't happen? In the same way, if we allow our imagination to allow for telepathy and manifestations, maybe, and even the world's major religions do tell us that prayer is important, and prayer is, if you pray continuously, you will you will be you'll have a better existence, and you will be more fruitful. So this is what I say about entropy and uh, likewise. Here I pass the mic to Saurabh back.
Yeah, well, I cannot dwell more upon entropy because I seem to have forgotten a lot of things. But yes, life in some sense does prove the second law of thermodynamics incorrect, or in some sense it disproves it maybe. But then I don't know what exactly to add. But since I remember being a big fan of, see, now it's all about conspiracy theories a little bit, and a bit of, what do you say, popular cinema, and how people have tried to explain what happens around us in their own imagination. And since we keep talking about Matrix a lot, and since how everything for them is a simulation, you keep telling me, and that kind of excites you, and we could all be living a dream and maybe sleeping in some pod, trying to provide create energy for someone else maybe. So would you like to give us a bit of that if you can?
So someone recently told me, I asked someone, in fact I had a burning question. I asked someone, what is the difference between fact and fiction? Like, say for example, you write you graffiti you have on the station walls, or on a public place, you do some graffiti. Many people watch it, and slowly there is change in the surrounding area because of you doing the graffiti. So is that manifestation in some sense? And also, I asked someone recently, what is the difference between fact and fiction? Then he told me that what is created is fact, and what is not created is fiction. So, and people blur the line between fiction and fact. Now, for example, this mic which I am speaking into is fiction. It's a created thing, and created by but what is created originally is fact, like the grass that we are sitting on, this the birds that are chirping. So when you really boil it down to its bare essentials, then you can separate fact from fiction.
I somehow feel that when we have to differentiate fact and fiction, we we tend to rely on data, whatever the data is available. So so is something that we are talking about, or that is shown in the movies, is it something that can be related to the data available, or something that is already theoretically there, or is it something that is s- a bit based on data, but it has some amount of imaginary effects, or the those which are related to imagination of a person as well. Um, so that itself can differentiate fact and data, I mean fact and fiction. But then again, there is a very thin line to demarcate those two, the fact and the fiction, because not anything that is everything that is imaginary, it's not that we cannot relate it to data. Many things that are that are imagined by a human being is finally on the basis of some data that he has recollected inside him, or he can connect it to them. So we cannot always demarcate them. And moreover, something that is fiction today can become a fact tomorrow. So similarly, as we were telling about the flying machine, long back when some epics were written, I wouldn't like to name them, but then when epics were written, many of things were fictions. And even to this day, when we get back, the way they are portrayed in those epics, they seem to be a fiction. But then the things that are already there today, the facts, the aeroplanes, or the spaceships, or whatever we are talking about, yeah, all those things that we are talking about in the movies, and today it's already there as a fact, present right in front of our eyes. They were at one point fiction themselves. So maybe the shape of it, or the maybe the color of it, or maybe the size of it differs, but finally we can see how thin that line is. And any time in the future, the fiction that is today will become a fact, might become a fact, and there are high chances of them going to be fact.
Okay, you are talking about fiction and fact, no?
If a human can
Right.
imagine, then if a human can imagine it, then most probably it will become a reality tomorrow.
How will a human imagine? By seeing a fact. Fact is fiction. I don't see it's a two different things. But when you see a fact, then you can convert into fiction. When you see a bird, then you can convert it to aeroplane. When you see a grass, then you can convert it into artificial grass. That's what fact and fiction are. It's a you tell me, no? Yeah, it's a thin line. So you can actually compare those two as a one. Fact and fictions are same, but there are two different meaning for that. Time related to, okay. And with the with without facts, there is no fiction. So no human can imagine beyond that. When the facts happen, marvels also. It's a fact, no mythical.
So then, what do you tell about the Marvels, the one which you like the most. So, what do you tell about them? At least the starting part of it, like some of the parts of it might seem to be related to some facts, but then as you move ahead and the more and more the Marvels evolved, it started pretty unconnected to the facts. That's what I feel as I started watching them. At least after some parts of it, or after some Marvel movies, many Marvel movies felt like they were not getting connected to the facts.
Oh, yeah, facts. No, okay, facts. You can see facts in the movie, which is fiction only. They have shown. When you go back in time, there are so many facts you can find. Will you speak about it? Yeah, yeah. I'll give to.
uh, Sneha brought up a very good topic about Marvel's cinematic universe. Now, what I understand is, say for example, there are two, three characters in Marvel comic movies. Now, a hero and lead actress, lead heroine, lead female character and lead male character. Now, the say for example, there's romantic love interest between both of them. Now the writer has to write these dialogues in the film, the screenplay and all. So love, the love that exists between two characters is real, but the characters are fiction. But the love has to originate from someone's mind. So that thought, what occurred to the writer, is real. Even though if fictional characters are saying it, someone has articulated those words, and they are that particular meaning is real to someone. It might not be the the cartoons and the superheroes might not be real, but the fact that uh, there's romance between two leads is real, because it is a human emotion, and that emotion is real. The emotion is real, but the whole thing can be nonsensical. The movie.
Let me add a point there. Uh, you told me that love and that thinking of that power, no? Before he thinks, it's all science that he got inside his mind. That power, that love, and whatever he thinks to portray that character. Even before that, when English was born, the language, there were no words. It's all evolved since the man has thinking power. Yeah, no, thinking power actually. He has got the thinking power to a science which we can reach other galaxies. So that thinking has been gone fictional now. It's way beyond the facts. So that's the one thing the man can evolve still further again. Yeah, no, they have found that love between each other. So that fact became again fiction in some other point. Now still evolving again and again. Still we'll see a future again with love.
The I would like to add something before I forget. Love was. I agree with Sneha here that love was fiction at some point in the past, but then it became fact. To illustrate this particular transition, I saw a Facebook post long time back that they found the what do you call remains of long time ago human, and they found a fractured femur, and they found that the femur had healed. That means the person or the man or woman who had fractured the femur was taken care of by her friends or relatives. So the very fact that this femur healed is the evidence of love, making its love present between the family members of the patient.
Love manifesting the imaginary, maybe. Love manifesting fiction because healing a femur bone without true medication. Because they must have tried some sort of medication which cannot qualify as true medication in contemporary from in compared to contemporary medical science. So in this case, did love actually manifest fiction?
No, love turned from fiction to fact.
I mean, like, since we were talking about fact and fiction, uh, and since we as a species are obsessed with storytelling, I guess I guess there was this time wherein our ancestors who learned to walk on their 2 feet for the first time, and since I keep telling, they eventually found out a way to digest food easily because they found out they could cook food, uh, and then that kind of eventually uh, gave a boost to their brains, and the brain's sizes increased, and the intestines reduced. We had discussed this a long time, few days ago, I guess. But then, since they could talk to each other eventually, they developed speech to convey a lot of things amongst themselves, not in sign language or not in, uh, but proper spoken words. So for the first time, if someone of if like let's like hypothetically imagine a situation wherein someone like a group like us is sitting along the banks of a river, maybe in like 50,000 years ago, and there's a lot of uh, thunderstorm going on and lightnings and thunder striking the earth, and suddenly people realize what is happening and they get very frightened about it, and they manage to run inside the caves to save themselves from the uh, thunder. But then this very phenomena would have induced a lot of questions in their minds, right? Like, where is this all coming from? Is there a force behind this which we cannot understand? And I feel somehow that would have led them to create stories out of it, uh, trying to explain that there's a bigger force behind this, uh, eh, which we in today's times or for a long time have been addressing them or they or him or her as God. So, in a sense, I believe that fiction, I mean, like the stories that were created and man tried to explain a few phenomena through stories, uh, he may also have created a religion in a very similar manner, is what I'm trying to say. Because one story led to another, and then they realized that the stronger the narrative was, the easier it was to control a particular crowd or a particular society, and you know uh, sanction a few things in the name of God. I mean, like, that is what I thought. I guess I missed what you was discussing in between. But then, since we were talking about fact and fiction, uh, the lines do get blurred at times, but at times they're quite significant. Uh, too many God could be fiction, and too many God is fact. That is what I was trying to say.
I would like to add a point I just got in my mind now. I'd like to put this fact and fiction in a beautiful relationship. It might be a couple, it might be love. It is love actually. I don't want to specify gender, but it's a couple. Fact and fiction. They are both are couples. Don't want any gender specific. Both are couples. When we are telling that story behind that man, when they started cooking, before that what happened? Okay, and when they tried to cook, before that he saw that one animal struggling in a fire and got cooked. That is fact. And he got a fiction idea that I can cook. That is fiction. Again he made it a fact that I can cook. Yeah, this is what the bond is between fact and fiction. They both are in love. Yeah, it was a fiction. No, it was a fact and fiction. That's what I. I got this line, beautiful line, that they are in love. They are a beautiful couple. You can call it a couple.
So fact and fiction are married to each other, inseparable, inseparable, inseparable from each other. And I guess fiction leads to fact, and at times fact leads to fiction. So I guess on that note, uh, obvious, obviously the bond is there. There's love, and there is, what do you say? Uh, I mean, like I feel a little lost actually, because I had to talk to my father on the phone call, so I may have missed something that you were talking. But I guess it was a really nice discussion out of nowhere. I mean, like we just took it up and we started talking about it, which kind of gave us so many deep thoughts. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like if you guys are listening to a podcast, I would like you guys to join us at Thinking Club. And if you're from Belgium, you can meet us on Sunday evenings. We gather at the Congress Well Park, which is in Telakwadi. If you're aware, you can just Google about it. You can also follow us on Instagram, rather. Our ID is Think Inc. underscore club. That is INK. Think INK underscore club. Uh, you can also reach out with whatever you think about we discuss, or something else that you want us to add, or you want us to invite you to a club maybe, or you want to conduct some, whatever you want to, being part of thinking, you're always welcome. Apart from that, I guess uh, Julian, Sneha and Abhishek will add concluding remarks to the discussion, I feel. And that's why I'm passing the mic to Julian now.
To sum up my thoughts on love, and whether love, fact and fiction, and uh, all these things. I wonder when these scientists cloned the sheep Dolly. Is that fact or is that fiction? I'm in a fix about that, because Dolly was not means Dolly was created artificially, but who should say what is artificial and not artificial? There should be authority to differentiate between that and all. And how do you legislate for such things? So now science has become so powerful, and so such new things are coming up day after day. We get confused if we have to a cloned animal is okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, 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 it's not gone. It's there. Yeah, yeah. Uh huh. Yeah, yeah, it's recording. See, the mic is there. So, when we look at certain things, when we are confused, we uh, when we inspect something, or when we come across something, we should go back to first principles and analyze the thing and then take a decision. I feel we should not get confused between fact and fiction, and we should not like say for example, we should not impose our thoughts on someone else, and like. Uh, we should not stress on conformity. That's what means I can take away from this discussion.
Yeah, diversity is good. So we need to always be open to disagreements. Agree on stuffs is good. Agreeing over stuffs is good. Yeah, agreeing to disagree is also good. So that's where discussions come up. When you agree to disagree, that's where the discussions come up. Otherwise, it's a monotonous thing. Someone tells and we follow it, or someone tells no and we don't follow it. Yeah, it's like North Korea. Should I even dare to tell that? So, so winding up with whole of this, whatever we spoke about, the telepathy. We started there and we landed up in love, and then we started connecting fact and fiction, and we put a wedded relation between them. So yeah, it's all just a matter of time when fact becomes a fiction, and then it's I think it's always interrelated. It's in an equilibrium. A fact can lead to a fiction, which is nothing but an imagination. It strikes an imagination in a human mind, and then that fiction will tomorrow lead to something becoming a fact. Today, which is fiction, will might most probably might become a fact tomorrow. And sometimes it might not, because of a lot of limitations of what we can imagine in our mind has no limitations at all. Our imaginations are limitless. One human can have a limit over his imagination to some extent, but the other human carries that imagination, and he might have a different level of limit. So each human imagining new stuffs, taking the imagination to a different level, might make the fictions of today become a fact tomorrow. So what I would tell is, imagine more, give some work to your brains so that they imagine a lot. Don't keep monotonously working your life out. Sit at a place, peaceful place, imagine things, think over the things that are already there, so that fictions are created in your brains. So with that note, I would love to invite you all, so that week by week we get more people to discuss with more minds to put up the things, their imaginations and their thoughts into talks. So please come up and let's meet.
Okay, I finished talking that time. I put the line which I got in my mind that struck suddenly when we are talking about fact and fiction, and I felt happy that I connected fact and fiction to love. That is a beautiful feeling. Yeah, that is also fiction, and later it become fact. Now it's also fact, no? Yeah, and I would like to conclude that this section, and it catches, no? Yeah, it's no, it doesn't catch. Okay, and we like to meet a lot of people and take good ideas and good imagination beyond the boundaries. So join us for in the next weeks, so we can get a good idea and knowledge about everything. And I'll conclude my.
Yeah, well, that's it then. We'd like to wrap up this edition of Thinking Meetup with this very insightful and deep podcast that we kind of tried to explain and discuss a few things. That's it then. This is Saurabh signing off. See you next time. Thank you.